Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis, and of course, keeping it real when it comes to theme parks. So, welcome to yet another installment of Cheat Codes, where myself and my esteemed co-host, Culture Casino, we answer your questions with regards to theme park planning in Florida, and of course, give you some tips, money, and time saving tricks and all that. So you are very, very much informed to make
Yeah.
your money go much, much faster. Because, like I tell people, time is money,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
when it comes to Disney.
More so at Disney than any other theme park there is. I mean, it just seems that way, especially Disney World. Disney World's the worst of them all. So, but yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And I want to say thank you to CJ for today's thumbnail. And I made sure I wore exactly the same shirt. So that I would,
Wow.
yeah, so I would be able to blend in. A little bit longer hair in this photo, but yeah.
But it looks
Yeah.
good, though.
That's all right. Yeah,
Looks
not bad for an old
good.
man. Not bad for an old man.
Oh, you were so not old. Don't even go there.
Yeah.
Don't even go there. Well, folks, we have several of you in here who have been waiting patiently. So let me welcome all of you. I see Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington who says, birthday boy ready. Is it your birthday, Gary? A happy birthday. I know it's not Culture's birthday because this is right before mine.
That's right. Yeah, well, November.
Yeah, it's Scorpio season.
Yeah.
Well, almost.
Almost.
And Black Superwoman. I see you're sliding in and she's got the headphones on. Yeah, a Black Superwoman dropped a comment on my video. I was out at Galaxy's Edge, of course, you saw me earlier today.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the stuffed tauntaun and how I wish that you could like open it up and like guts to come out.
And then and stuff
Luke and can stuff Luke in there. She said, "Don't Luke my tauntaun."
Don't Luke my If they had a zipper, right? Like you could stash things in it. Wouldn't that be cool?
That's such a missed opportunity. Well, you know,
you get like a tauntaun purse, like you just zippers on the belly, right? You just,
Mhm.
and it's a little lightsaber, like pull tab, right?
Yeah, and you have like the little stuff in it. Kind of looks like guts in a. Come on now.
I make people like merch in my head just constantly. So there you go. There's an opportunity there.
Yeah, that was my first impression. That's why I said missed opportunity. Total missed opportunity there. Yeah. Hey, Zachariah 315 says, howdy, Lorena, Culture, and Fat Steven. Well, Fat Steven's not on this particular stream. We kind of give him a little bit of well-deserved time off. Yeah, a little bit of a break. And speaking of a break, I have not had a chance to put the tweet out, but tomorrow we won't be having a Welcome to Florida show. I'm kind of taking that day off. Your girl is actually going to be over at Walcott, also known as Epcot.
No, it is Walcott.
I had to walk out all over the place.
I was just there. It is walls. It's ugly. It's been ugly for 2 years. It's been ugly.
It's been ugly.
They made no effort to make it even pretty.
No,
I mean it's solid painted walls. You remember when they used to like paint the walls and that would look nice? They'd be decorative. They were going to have them up for a period of time, and sometimes they'd have murals on there.
Yeah, like there'd be really pretty looking murals. Pardon our pixie dust, and there would be sometimes it'd be like Mickey in a hard hat and stuff like that. So it actually looked kind of cool. No, last time I took like the monorail through, and you guys saw this on the stream. And we're going around Epcot, and it just looked like a dig site or something like that. With I forgot. Oh, you forgot your customer service head.
There we go. Okay, there we go.
Oh, he looks so professional. I love that. But yeah, so I'll be over at Epcot tomorrow, just checking out some stuff and kind of kicking back a little bit since I've just gotten my annual passes. So I'm kind of checking out a couple of the parks this weekend. So taking the Sunday off. But if you are a channel member like the likes of Black Superwoman, you will notice today I dropped some raw footage of the Rise of the Resistance ride. So if you are a Mediano Mafia channel member, you will get to go and see that footage. So that's kind of an additional bonus I'll be giving you guys. Like I'll have like footage of certain attractions at the parks. So before I start polishing them up and all that other stuff, you guys get to see a lot of cool raw video. I think I can't remember if I did or I did not post the raw footage of video from the Haunted Mansion. I'll have to double check because I meant to post that. Let's see. We have Ram Bam 3000 says, "Sup, my boys." Well, hello, Ram Bam. I know it's really late for you. You and Gary Banjo Sandwich. You guys are over in the UK, so thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
You're too kind, Ram Bam. You're too kind. I love it. Punk Trace says, "Hey, Lorena Creole and Chuckles Casino."
Well, hello.
Chuckles Casino.
What's up, Punk Trace?
And we have Dennis Kachakis says, "Hey, Lorena and Culture." Well, hello, Dennis. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey.
Let's see. Dismal Disney. Oh, yeah, girl.
And it's
hey. Oh, go ahead, Culture.
Well, no, it's nuts. Now, you were in the Magic Kingdom when?
I was in the Magic Kingdom first for the Boo Bash.
Uh-huh.
And then I went back this yesterday evening.
Okay, so did you take pictures of the statues?
I took pictures of a couple of them. I put them on Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, I have not been tweetering.
Tweetering.
I haven't been doing that. No, I haven't been doing the bird thing very much today. I've been flipping the bird at certain people, but I haven't been, no. The whole reason I ask is because that was such a big deal they made out of these statues, and I'm going, okay. Normally for anniversaries, we get massive fireworks shows, massive parades, new attractions, redressed attractions. I mean, like this, it's normally to the hilt. They've done none of that.
No, it's literally been nothing. If you would have walked in, you would probably notice just a couple of updates, but it's nothing like a big celebration or anything like that. I really don't feel like playing a scavenger hunt to find the statues. Not that I was looking. Some of it I just ran into, like the Mad Hatter outside the Tea Party ride, the Orange Bird over by the Sunshine Tree Terrace, all of that. But yeah, no, they have fireworks planned, but I don't know how expansive they're going to be. I don't know if it's going to be mostly a projection show and then you get like a pithy amount of fireworks. I have no idea.
That's what they've been doing. I mean, they've been showing off the last days of whatever the most recent show was, and
which I'm not a fan of.
Well, and so it's a projection show, right? And then they have like some low level fireworks, and then the occasional, not very many, Roman candles and such like that. And it's so different now than what it used to be, and they've really cut back. I mean, we were talking backstage before we got started about the drop in value, but that's not that's not why we're here today. So I didn't mean to pull us off the subject.
You'll get it interspersed here and there. That'll probably be the show in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
CJ says he likes your backdrop.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for help on that.
I sent him a bunch of pictures. He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna use this." But no, CJ is awesome. I love all of his work. Everything he does for you is amazing. So.
Yeah, he does such cool stuff. So I so appreciate his help. Yeah. And him saying, "Hey, it's Friday. What you got for me?" Hey, Nuanced Observer says, "Hope you had a fun time at MGM." I like that you called it MGM.
MGM, yeah, that's what it was. MGM UA, Disney Studios theme park or whatever it was back in the day, right?
Yep.
Disney's MGM Studios theme park, and then it was like, and then the name kept morphing.
It kept changing.
But it was that was an Eisner thing, right? Eisner wanted to have like the same concept as Universal, only better. like actually
Right.
do. They were going to have a bunch of Disney television kid shows, right? Like the live action kid shows shot in the sound stages there that eventually turned into the
Mhm.
Captain Sparrow thing and some other stuff. And
Mhm.
that they continued to use it less and less as that. I mean, you actually they had a tram tour that was decent that actually took you through the props department, right?
Mhm.
And they literally had props and costumes in this giant building that you used to drive through. That
You
thing's
still
gone.
got my MC, I'm sure.
Yeah. I have all that stuff. It's just it's yeah.
Brett Cohen for $2 Australian. Thank you so very much for that
Thank
super
you for that.
sticker. I do
Yeah.
appreciate that. The Shiba Inu dog with the farting hearts. You know, that's one of my favorites. Back
Mine
and
too.
forth. So
Mine
cute.
too.
I
I
love
love them.
that. I love that. I mean, that lady on the phone he's got behind him, she's cute, not my little thumbnail.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
hey, yeah, it's awesome. Tauntauns are not sleeping bags, no matter what Luke told you.
They are. They are.
Well, oh,
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Punk
yeah,
Trace.
yeah,
It was a good popcorn flick. That's what I
yeah,
kind of tell people.
yeah.
Hey, Rogue Disney says, howdy, y'all. Howdy, y'all. I lucked off and lucked out and got on the silver group on Rise of the Resistance.
Ooh, good for you.
That's gonna have to be a whole nother show. I was so
Oh,
disappointed how they
and
did
there's a
that.
and there's a trick, guys, to that someday that we'll share with you for how to get in the boarding group. The problem is the trick just changed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
It's like Superwoman. You gave him a day off. How Gryffindor of you.
there you go. There you
See,
go.
I can be shrewd. Hey, Tina Bojan, another channel member, says, good afternoon, friends. Well, good afternoon to you, Tina. So glad to see you. I saw the Chippendale statue. I want one. Yeah, the Chippendale statue is cute. I did see. I did that. Oh, best Chippendale short. Working for peanuts. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like the Thunder from Down Under in Vegas.
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, not that kind of Chippendale, huh? Right.
No.
Oh, the little rodents. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, the little, yeah,
I'm
the
just
little,
teasing.
little. Oh, you're so funny. Let's see. Mexican says, I can guarantee one thing only: Disney will always strive to empty your
Yes.
wallets. Yes, they will. Here's the interesting thing: a lot of people have been very tight-fisted, including yours truly, with them getting access to my wallet. So that's an interesting twist that's been happening. But yeah, they'll use everything to basically try to get you to dump everything out of your wallet and pay. Hey, Allie. Allie says, hey. Yes, it is the hair stream. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love the backlog. Oh, you mean the backlot express?
Backlot. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
typo. Yeah.
I haven't been there in a long time.
No. That was the tram. That was the name of the tram tour.
Oh,
yeah, not the. You're thinking of the little restaurant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the tram tour was called that. And I can't remember, but but their name, the little restaurant thing, is very similar to that, something like that as well. But no, maybe it was named in honor of that. But it was that was what they called that, where you went through Catastrophe Canyon. And
okay, with all the water and okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really far back. No wonder my brain was like,
that's like that thing been closed for 15 years or not even 9 years. I think. Yeah. So
I have to say, when the boys were toddlers, they loved the live stage shows, Roly Poly Oly, Blair and the Big Blue House. Yeah, I took my nephews to see those. Those were a lot of fun.
They had a live stage show back when it was at the tail end of tail end of Eisner and the beginning of Iger. They had Hunchback of Notre Dame live musical performance stage show. And I think I filmed it once entirely on VHS tape. I have to go through all the VHS tapes and see if I can find it, because it was amazing. Broadway quality on this tiny little stage with these really incredible voices and actors. It was amazing. And it made me appreciate what they could do in a 45-minute show to convey an entire, obviously
Mhm.
animated film. They did such a great job with it. So maybe somebody else remembers that one. That was really good. It's really
Yeah,
good.
that one I don't remember. See, hey Robert, how you doing? Another channel member. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. CJ's like, not the Chippendales
Oh,
culture. That's a whole nother show.
huh. That's what I
Thunder
thought.
Down Under sounds like an Australian wrestler.
Actually, that's a bunch of Aussies doing the full Monty in
Hmm.
Vegas. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think that's either in the Excalibur or in the Luxor. I don't remember which, but
Hmm.
or maybe it's a different hotel. I don't know. Anyway,
I know I have heard about it. Black Superwoman. I miss Eisner, and that says a lot.
it
Yeah, I
does.
find myself doing that
Does.
too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if Wells had not passed away, I think Eisner would have had another 5, 6, 7 years left. That
Hmm.
things would have been all right, and he wouldn't have destroyed his relationship with a lot of people like Katzenberg and many of these other folks.
Hmm.
So I think that things would have gone in a far different direction.
Yeah, I think the last time I watched like a lot of Disney cartoons was during the Eisner era, or Eisner on the way out. Oh, U.S. Open win for Great Britain.
Awesome.
Very cool. I don't usually
Yeah.
follow tennis, but some friends of mine actually they really like it. Okay, folks. Well, we have got 16 people in here
Oh,
today. Thank you so very much. Please do hit that like button. This is the cheat codes edition of Welcome to Florida. So, what we're kind of the objective kind of here to do today is to kind of give you a heads up if you are, even if you're thinking about booking a trip to Disney, to just kind of be aware of a couple things that are out there. Like number one, Disney's official site. Of course, that's always going to be your first good place to go
mhm.
to just get information about what's out there and available. But also keep in mind, they're presenting you with stuff that's in their best interest, not necessarily yours. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and there's a lot of advantages to booking through Disney, but at the same time, using them as your primary research points probably your best play, and that's
Ex-
that's yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
exactly. No, but no, that's exactly the point of this show. And actually, here's Black Superwoman nails it. Is this show how not to get hosed? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is exactly the purpose of this show. Um, think about point rentals as well. Yeah, I haven't really done it. I've heard some people have rented
Yep.
DVC points.
Yep.
I have not, so I'm not really an expert on that.
Well, Dave's site for point rentals works really well. It's incredibly reputable. You don't have to worry about getting hosed, as
Which
Black
one is
Superwoman
Dave's
said.
site? Which one is Dave's site?
Dave's DVC Rentals.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and what they do is they
Hmm.
um, they actually they actually go out of their way to make
Here
it
we
so
go.
you can rent points through
I
something.
knew I knew that name from somewhere. Okay, folks, this page that I have up here right now. Okay,
There you go.
mousesavers.com.
Yep.
Keep that in your brain. I have followed this website for like years. Hasn't even really changed, presentation wise. Best place if you want the cheat sheet for discounts. And yeah, there's David's Vacation Club Rentals.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it works really well. It's if you happen to be a DVC owner and you aren't going to be able to use your points this year because you have some kind of other vacation coming up, or it's just not a travel year, or whatever it is, you can actually sell your points to David. Yeah, and they also have there are several other sites. Yeah, but you can actually rent points from someone, and you can get amazing accommodations for a lot cheaper than if you did the rack rate, right? The
Hmm.
cash price that Disney's going to ask for these DVC rooms. And that's one of the things that most people don't know when you get into DVC. unless you read the fine print, is that Disney can rent a certain percentage of their DVC rooms to rack rate guests, to hotel guests, and they offset a lot of negative costs this way. They're putting themselves in a position where they're going to fall under a lot of scrutiny for that in the future, because right now there are a lot of DVC property owners that are claiming that they can't rent space in any of the DVC hotels certain times of the year, despite being obviously members of DVC and supposedly supposed to have access to that. And so, but one of the ways to get access to these points through a individual person is to go through David's Vacation Club rentals or many of these other services. So you can get these points for X number of dollars per point from David's Vacation Rentals, and basically break down your vacation, and it will cost you less than half if you paid the cash rack rate in most cases. So it's very impressive. So anyway.
Actually, yeah, very good. So we'll have a note about Dave's Vacation Rentals in the description box, and of course a link to Mouse Savers as well. Because trust me, this is a site you definitely want to bookmark. This is the independent information cheat sheet that you definitely want to bookmark and keep track of. And yep, and they're on Twitter as well. I'm not really on Facebook that much, but they are on Twitter. Yeah. Checkman Blade says, got any Florida man goes to Disney stories? Ooh. Well, if you saw this past Sunday's show, you saw a fight night on the ferry.
Yep.
There's a fight on the Disney ferry. You can go back and see that in the show.
You I mean, if you go back a few months to one of our earliest Florida Man editions, we had somebody camping on Discovery Island that we covered. That's a Florida Man story. You have, there are always some of them. I mean, you had the guy that stole an animatronic from the Wonders of Life Pavilion. You have a lot of those things.
Somebody who dropped their firearm in the flower pot because they didn't want to go through security with it. On the way in Epcot, yeah. They just show up. Those types of stories. Yeah. Hey, Robert, that's me. I have time sharing, but can't use it because it's always full. Yep. Yeah, my parents had a timeshare, and it seemed like all they did was just complain about
DVC is a little more friendly version of a timeshare, and actually Marriott kind of copied, or their most recent program kind of copied some of that, and Disney kind of went the other way with the Riviera having sometimes like people want to book specific weeks, like Christmas week are a very valuable week to them, and so they created this guaranteed period for some people for a premium cost for DVC for that period as well. But that a lot of times, I mean, you can't use you don't know how your life's gonna go, so you don't know that you're gonna always have from October 8th to October 16th available every year. You don't know that. Whereas with DVC, it's a lot more flexible, which is why renting the points is a good thing. But,
exactly. Yeah. Hey, Thomas Bowman, finally caught a live stream. True, I'm 19 minutes behind, but I am improving. Tom, you guys in the chat, you're never late. You get here exactly when you intend to.
That's right.
Fight night on the ferry was hilarious to watch, but it must have been terrifying to get caught in. You're in a ferry in the middle of a body of water, even though it's a man-made body, of water. It's never a fun situation getting caught in something like that because adults can't behave themselves. That's right, Tina, and blamed her son for dropping the gun in the pot.
She did. That's the dropped firearm in the planter box in a cooler, right? They stuffed it in like a cooler and left the cooler in the planter box. And I'm going, what the heck? Like one of those collapsible coolers.
They just do. It's something else. So back to Disney's website. So I will say, just like with Universal, just to get on Disney's marketing list, just create an account.
Yep.
So you want to do that, but don't create an account just yet. Wait until you finish going through the website without logging in. just to kind of see what the price difference is going to be, because Disney will present certain options to you based on who you are. You showing up as a guest, they might not show you the same thing when you're logged into,
You
your
mean like
account.
like Amazon?
Yeah,
Oh.
just like Amazon. It's uncanny. And since I've moved, so my IP address is no longer Pennsylvania. My IP address is now in Florida.
Mhm.
Now I see the Florida resident stuff.
Right.
It's a little bit faster. So, yeah. So they're talking up the 50th, anniversary. Of course, they're going to do that. So the first thing you do, so here's like parks and tickets and everything. I always tell people the first thing that you're going to pay attention to is where you are going to stay. Where you are going to stay for your Disney trip, everything flows south from there.
Yep.
So what you're going to do, first of all, they have, oh well, this should be a laugh. We're going to look at that in a little bit. So here they have like what their resorts are. So there's a deluxe villas. I've never stayed in one of those. The deluxe resort hotels. So I've stayed in about three of those. I want to say I've stayed at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Mhm.
I've stayed at the Polynesian,
Mhm.
and I've stayed at the Grand Floridian. So I
Oh.
guess that's three. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I stayed at the Grand Floridian. Was not interested in staying in a contemporary. It was kind of like the Toaster
Oh.
Hotel
All
to
right. Well,
me.
after the remodel in the main building, you might change your mind because as soon as they're done with that. So
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the IP, doing an IP makeover, but I did see a picture of the elevators, the way the
Mhm.
elevators look, and looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm
Looks
not a
kind of
fan of
cool.
the IP makeovers either, but I'm just saying is they're at least they're giving it a go.
Yeah, it looked kind of
Yeah.
cool. I'm only missing Grand Floridian and the Riviera. The Riviera, isn't that the one where it's like $500 a night, but the beds are falling apart?
Well, you have to remember that was the one where the bed fell off the wall on the guest in the first week.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Again.
they have these. Okay, so in the studios there, you have bed mounted like Murphy bed or wall mounted like Murphy beds in like a living room space, and they fold down. And then in the one bedrooms, they have those things as well. They're basically couches, and then the thing folds over. But
Hmm.
it's interesting. So yeah, there you go. Wyndham has
Hmm.
been great because you're not locked into a certain week. We've been able to use our points to book 2 or 3 weeks in December and through January. Excellent. That's awesome, Tina.
Wyndham's resort is gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
nice.
pass by it pretty
Mm.
regularly.
That's a Bonnet Creek, right? Is that a Bonnet Creek
I
one?
believe it's a Bonnet Creek. Yeah, we're going to talk about Bonnet Creek too. There's two things: Bonnet Creek and Hotel Plaza Boulevard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those are two that we're gonna
Ooh,
talk about.
can we also I'm going to say this because we're not going to get to it today, but you have the Swan and Dolphin Hotel. They were adding a third one called the Cove.
The is it the Reserve?
Well,
Is
I
it
thought it
this
was the
one? Yeah.
Cove. I thought it was the Cove. Maybe it's the Reserve, but anyway.
They've changed the name.
Okay, well, the third hotel is not opening on time.
Why am I
So
not
they've been
surprised?
they were canceling guests for the early opening dates that they had put in place. Anyway, so
Mhm.
that's neither here nor there. So I just thought that was an
Mhm.
interesting aside.
That is because I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful. Last time I heard is, oh, it's opening soon, but no, let me get this. Yes, Ram Bam, $500 a night. This is another thing.
Oh, it gets
Disney
spendy.
resorts are crazily overpriced, especially now. So your moderates, these are going to be your middle. I call them the middle of the road hotels. So I've stayed at the Port Orleans, French Quarter, and I've stayed at Riverside. That it's all one resort, Port Orleans Resort, which is actually pretty nice, especially the princess rooms that they have. Yes, they do have a section called princess rooms, themed in Princess and the Frog, but it's not super saturated in the IP. If anything, it looks like the rooms in Cinderella's castle, or that suite in the castle suite with like the LED lights, figures, and features in the headboards and all of that, and the appointments and like the bedding and all of that. So basically, it looks like the same thing. Another moderate is the Coronado Springs, which I really didn't like too much. It's more of a convention type of hotel. And there's another moderate that I am blanking on right now. Oh, Caribbean Beach. Because Caribbean Beach looks too much like Florida.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it went over my head. But the Caribbean Beach is the nexus of travel for the Skyway, kind of
Yep.
like the
Yeah, it's right at the midpoint.
Polynesian is the nexus of travel when you're going between the Magic Kingdom and Epcot. So,
Yep.
needless to say, the Caribbean Beach resort prices have jacked up like
Well,
crazy.
and
Nice resort, but
yeah, the rooms are I mean, maybe when they're done with the remodel, they'll be better, but they're
oh, they're remodeling again.
they're working on it, or they're supposed to be
Okay,
going through 'em. They're supposed to be
last
going through 'em.
last time they remodeled it, it looked like they took the design from the Polynesian and
Mhm.
dropped it there, including like the sliding doors. So it looked had like a very Barbados
Yeah.
look to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
with the moderates, I kind of feel like I'm burning money
It's still
for
better than
me.
the gulags at times. The values.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna separate the values
All
for
right. Okay.
for a
All right.
minute because the gulag that culture is talking about, that's known as the all-star sports, the all-star movies, and all-star music.
Music.
Avoid, freaking avoid. They like to put I know they like to put tour groups in there,
Cheerleaders.
cheerleaders,
Yeah.
bands,
Yeah.
sports competitions.
Yeah.
I did not like it, especially some people who don't put a swim diaper on their kids.
It's just a little different for a Disney property hotel. Pop Century, Art of Animation.
That's what you want.
Yeah,
That's what you want.
if you're gonna stay in a value, those are my preferences.
Those
You
are
know.
those are good,
Yeah.
especially for families. Because where is Art of Animation? Hold on one second. Wyndham also they own the
Oh,
Waldorf Astoria, and that's gorgeous. That's actually one of the hotels I plan to stay at in the future. Off property for years. Actually, nuance.
yep.
We're going to talk about this. Off property for years. You can get a better rate with free breakfast
Yep.
and parking at the hotel. What I
Yep.
will say with that is to do the math to make sure that it pays off for you.
Yep.
I usually advise people to kind of try to stay either in Bonnet Creek
Mhm.
or on Hotel Plaza Boulevard,
Yep.
especially if you're like Hilton member.
Yep.
What's
Or
another one?
yeah,
Or I
if
think
yeah,
Wyndham has one.
yeah, yeah. If you're Hilton, if you're somebody that likes to shop like Disney Springs, that's a
Mhm.
decent set of hotels to stay in for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they also have shuttles that go to
Yep.
the parks as well. So
And they're considered a good neighbor kind of hotel. I forget
mhm,
if that's the classification they're still using, but it means that you still qualify for those 30 minutes of extra time in the theme parks.
right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So, yeah, definitely do the math on those.
Mhm.
Because one thing I will say is with a lot of the off-property hotels, because
Mhm.
my parents used to have a timeshare in Kissimmee and we always stay in like on a 192 hotel.
Yeah.
Traffic can be a nightmare getting out of that parking lot.
Oof.
That's the problem. Literally from the time that's why if you're Disney at the end of the fireworks, why is there a mass exodus out of the park? Because people are trying to get to their cars to get to their offsite hotel. And a lot of times that can be almost an hour to get
Well,
back.
it can be it can take you 45 minutes just to get either on a ferry or a monorail to get across the stupid water to get to the
Hmm.
ticket transportation center, and
Hmm.
then you're trying to get out of the parking lot. It can be a sojourn. It can, yeah.
It's a mess. It's like I heard somebody say at Universal. It's like you have to go on a damn epic journey just to get to the park from the parking lot
Yeah.
at Disney,
Well,
and it's true.
Disney working on that. Not on the difficulty getting out of Magic Kingdom, but the difficulty getting out of their parking lot. They're building some faster ramps, exits, and so on and so forth to make that quicker. Just
Oh,
FYI.
okay.
So,
Okay. I have noticed some of those.
mhm.
Some of
They're
those,
working
but
on it.
it's just
They're
that
working on it.
massive getting the people out especially Magic Kingdom. The other parks, not so much, but
Animal
Magic Kingdom's a
Animal King
freaking
Animal
nightmare.
Kingdom's a breeze. Be prepared. There are no trams still.
No trams. And it's trust me, it's not fun,
It's
especially if
quite
you
it's
have a couple of kids and they're
the end of the day.
tired, end of the day. Even the car is always parked farther than you thought when you're coming out. And it used to be
Yeah,
nice to have that tram,
yeah,
because that's what I remember. It's like you're exhausted, tram comes up, picks you up, and even just to be able to relax for 5
yeah.
minutes.
Jafar 29 wasn't that far away when you walked in the morning.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
And then it just
Now it
seems
is.
like it's forever. Tina Bojan said, we used to stay at the All-Star resorts before we bought our timeshare. Oh, what a nightmare. Yeah. And yeah, before they started to build Pop Century and Art of
Art
Animation. Yeah,
Animation,
they
which are
had
right
these
there at the
three.
top. Yep.
They had these three. I tell people, don't stay there. It is cheaper.
Oh yeah.
I would say stay on Hotel Plaza Boulevard or stay at Monterey, because
Oh
these
yeah.
three, nah.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, these are always good. Yeah, do an Uber for sure.
Do an Uber. That's
Um,
always a good
yeah,
option.
the two top ones here, the Art of Animation and Pop Century, both great. The food court at both locations is very good. If
The
you
one
are
at
stuck
Art of
for,
Animation.
if
I'm
you are
picky,
stuck,
but I'm like, just because it's newer,
yeah,
they're both good. They're
yeah,
both good, but this
yeah.
one's newer. So,
Yeah. And they're right across the lake from each other. There's something called Hourglass Lake. And
mhm.
here's an interesting story. Pop Century and Art of Animation Resort, the shells for the buildings were built at the same time. They just basically let the Art of Animation Resort sit as
Mhm.
just empty concrete shells. Because they weren't pressed to build the hotel. And then at a later date, they were able to theme it with the Art of Animation and put in all of the details and everything that you see now. But for
Right.
many years, that set across Hourglass Lake from Pop Century
Mhm.
Resort as a bunch of empty concrete shells. It was
Yeah.
really interesting.
They had
So,
like zeros, 10s, 50. And because I remember staying at Pop Century
yeah,
when all that was just kind of sitting there,
yeah,
being mothballed.
yeah.
We were wondering what was going to happen to it. But when I stayed at Pop Century, I loved it. Stayed in like the 80s building, sometimes the
Mhm.
70s building with the Mickey phone. The food court was great. The layout was great. The location is great because it's literally in the middle. The All Stars are down like near Animal Kingdom almost, but
Yeah,
this was actually closer. So then they opened up Art of Animation,
yeah,
which has family suites in it. That's the other thing. Um, Pop Century just has regular rooms. Art of Animation has these like suites. Like I stayed in the Little Mermaid standard room, but let's see if that'll pop up. But these are like there's these little suites, that have like a pull-out bed, and they've got like a separate bedroom, like a kitchenette area, which is amazing. If you're trying to save money, you just have all your food delivered by like Amazon or Publix delivery or something like that. And you can save money on, having breakfast or leave the parks, come home, have lunch, all of that. They are more expensive. Like here you say $465 a night. And I think that's for now, which is the lower, the tail end of summer, but this will go up.
yep.
This will profoundly go up. But if you're looking for some place that's going to fit, like say 4, 5, 6 people, this can accommodate that for this much, for this much a night. And like I said, you can bring your own food if you just want to do that. And there's like a microwave and all that stuff. It's very, very nicely appointed. I've heard nothing but good things about the suites, especially when it comes to come on, people, especially when it comes to families. And the Art of Animation Resort is on the Skyliner line. That's the other thing. So the ones that are on the Skyliner line, I believe, is the Riviera Art of Animation Resort and also Caribbean Beach. Pop Century is also on there too. You just literally go around the lake, and there you are. There you are. Holiday. No, they are definitely not.
No,
They are not
no.
cheap. They are not cheap. If you something comparable to these suites here are the suites at like say Surfside and Dockside at Universal, and I paid around Christmas pass holder rate $129 a night. Big, huge, huge price difference between those. Are the buses from Disney hotels still doing limited capacity? Not that I saw.
No, goodness, no. In fact, from what I heard, reports are the accordion buses were getting just packed, and at the fireworks presentation a couple nights ago, they were encouraging guests who are not wearing facial coverings to move forward, stand up, and move forward. And remember when they were telling everybody to spread, space out and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore.
Mm-mm.
So, it's like, all right, this is exactly contrary to why you're, having people wear face coverings inside.
Exactly.
And yet you want them all right on top of each other out in this outdoor area that basically you are breathing in somebody else's ear. Really?
Their mask policy makes no freaking it makes no sense. Hey, Tim Possible says, hey there, Lorena Creole and Culture, and I see you, Miss Martin. You says, hey Teresa, how you doing? How you doing? So there's 20 of you folks in here. Thank you so much. Please do hit that like button and share this stream. So as you can see here, the most expensive one is at the top.
Oh yeah.
Most expensive one is at the top. This is one of my favorites, although it's no longer the bargain that it used to be just because of what's being built up, around it. But if you want to stay at a value at Disney, this is the one that I would recommend. Pop Century is literally right across the lake from it. Literally. You don't even have to walk that far. But both of them are here. They're here together. So as you can see, let's go back here. I won't even get into talking about Disney's IT. I was just talking with a cast member, and they were complaining to me about the Disney IT. And right then and there, her point of sale point just died on her.
Yeah. God, and it's amazing. And here's the funny thing. So when we went to the first page here on their website, you're going to be presented with the, X number of days until the 50th anniversary starts. Mm-hmm. Well, they launched it a month early. So for a whole day and a half, I think in August, you were getting a 30-day countdown to October 1st. Not a 60-day countdown to October 1st. Was bad.
And they wonder why we're always freaking clowning Disney. Even in IT circles, they're like, Disney IT, everyone starts laughing and all that. Burning monorail is free.
That is, it is. It's a transportation thing. It doesn't cost anything. You can ride that in circles all day.
It just is. I said, pee before you get on. Is it a good spa for that much money? The spas are separate. So Grand Floridian Spa, I do like. The spa prices they're pretty comparable to other spas I've been to. The cool thing about the Grand Floridian spas, if you have an appointment, you can basically crash in that spa the whole freaking day. I'm not kidding. You can use like their steam room. You can like hang out in the lounge. Yeah, that's basically what you can do there all freaking day.
Like if I want to have a hot shave, then it's very cool. But it's not cheap though. I mean, it's just kind of spendy. But interestingly enough, so we were looking at like these room prices and this is pretty typical. These amounts we're looking at right now, these are pretty typical, not the peak season kind of a rate.
No.
So
no,
and that's a hotel room. That's a hotel room, right?
Of course, they put the Grand Floridian up first, which is interesting. They do that all the time. And it seems like they kind of shuffled them in here. I always say they always seem to put the ones at the top sometimes, especially with the deluxes, the ones that they want to try and fill first.
Yeah.
No, you should
Well,
try and do that.
interestingly enough, and just this will give you some perspective. For fun, just because I thought it would be an interesting experiment. Can we look at October 8th through the, let's see, looks October 8th through the 15th at Grand Flow.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. Let's see. Let's go over here.
Is it
While
chugging
that
away?
loads, Razor Fist called Disney COVID Central. You know what? There's a lot of places that could qualify as that.
It is what it is.
It is. It's a lot of places that could qualify as that. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily Disney.
Yeah. All right.
Let's
Well,
see.
there we are.
Yep, here we are. And let's see. Outer building, Garden View, 687.
87 a night.
Yeah.
For fun, select that.
So this is just the room, y'all.
No, there's no ticket.
No tickets yet.
No tickets.
This is just the room.
Now you can throw a ticket on there. So
See how they put that in there for you to just kind of be helpful?
Yeah.
Helpful?
8-day ticket.
8-day. One park per day. You get one park per day. No park hopping yet. Just one park per day. $6,493.07.
All right. Now go ahead and mark the no ticket option for fun. All right. So right now, just so you know, to give you some perspective, you can get a room that will sleep 5 people, otherwise known as a DVC studio, from October 8th to the 15th at the Grand Floridian for $2,508.
Said, oh, hell no. Oh, yeah, Trinoculus P. They are serious. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, it is half as much for a high quality room in a DVC location than it is to get a regular hotel room at Grand Flow.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both the same location.
Yep, that is for 2, Rogue Disney.
That's insane.
I
thought that would be fun.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. So just for fun, we're going to go look at the values. Because for me, I just sometimes feel that the moderates are like burning money. It's like either I just stay at the bargain basement hotel.
Or the high ones. Yeah. Although, to be honest with you, the Louisiana themed one is still
the Port Orleans.
Yeah.
I do like it. My whole thing when I was staying there, I just kind of felt like I could be staying at the Art of Animation and saving my money.
There you go.
And that was just one of those things because
all right, so this is a family suite room. It's $200 a night less, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do Finding Nemo. Yes, I'm gonna update my cart because I like the fishy theme. Plus, the way that the hotel is themed over there, I just like it because they have the big blue pool, and it's so cute. It's so good. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is for 2 people staying in a suite. Okay. This is for August of next year. Literally, they have August of next year up there. $5,000 with an 8-day ticket.
For 2.
For 2. $3,000 if there's, no ticket. Again, this is for a week. Family suite, kitchenette, refrigerator, all there together. Still. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like if you can live with it, that's cool. I would honestly try to see if you could find something else comparable. Say if you're staying at the Embassy Suites, well, they close the Crossroads for right now. But even if you stay at trying to remember, I think they did just open another Embassy Suites like near Disney property. I'm not mistaken.
There's a
Last time I
whole
checked.
collection. There's a whole collection of Marriotts that are just off of Western, which is
Okay.
just off property near Animal Kingdom. It's on the
Mm-hmm.
Animal Kingdom side of the parks, and that's a really quick drive in on Western, which puts you in by the Caribbean, not Caribbean Beach, the other one, the one the NBA players just stayed in. Crud.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it puts you there, basically if you, when you come down Western. So that's actually not bad, except I don't think they're considered good neighbor hotels. So it's not like the
Okay.
Bonnet Creek resorts or the Hotel Plaza Boulevard folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this
Yeah,
is literally, yeah, this is literally how much it is.
yeah.
But notice every time you go in here, the first thing they do is they
Tickets
stick the
for
tickets, the
every
tickets.
day.
I always tell people, don't get the tickets. I usually tell people to add that on like later if you want to,
Well,
if you don't need
you're
the
not
tickets.
going. And here's the thing: just because you're going to be there for 8 days doesn't mean you're going to be in the parks for 8 days. You're going to be planning this vacation for a while in the future, and the day you come in, unless
Mhm.
you happen to be on the East Coast, you're not getting there before 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Are you going to waste a park day? Now that they're closing the parks at 8 and 9 o'clock at night,
Mhm.
are you getting 5 hours out of that first ticket day, and then the
Mhm.
last day, are you actually going to go to the park before you go to the airport? Yeah,
'Cause
and
it yeah.
Nuanced Observer is not wrong. Again, you,
Mhm.
you the Hilton is great. I think that Lorena and I crossed paths at a Hilton not too long ago.
Mhm. I stayed at the DoubleTree, the Hilton DoubleTree on, Hotel Plaza Boulevard,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think I even with the resort fee, I wanna say it was under $140 a night, and I got a suite with that.
yeah, yeah,
So I
and
had,
you
like,
get
huge
points,
rooms.
and you
Yep,
get points.
and you get points.
Yeah, and if you stay at the one across the street from Disney Springs, which is the Palace, right, the Hilton Buena Vista Palace location, you still do pretty well there, price wise, and you get points. And if you have points, you can use points to get your room, and you don't have to spend cash. It's really kind of cool, and you still get access to just a beautiful a beautiful location that you can really enjoy. And of course, you can walk across the street to Disney Springs really easily.
So look at this. So this is a Hilton,
Hmm.
because I have Hilton points.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, Hilton Buena Vista Palace. So I've seen this one.
Yep.
$191 a night. That's
Hmm.
just, the bare bones room. This is the one where I stayed at the DoubleTree Suites by
Hmm.
Hilton, which is
Yep.
in Disney Springs. $140 a night.
Yep.
You literally get like the equivalent, I want to say, like the size of a one bedroom apartment,
Yep.
because it's huge. You get, breakfast vouchers that you can get. That's there. And the property's nice. And it's literally right around the corner from Disney Springs. You can literally get out your car and walk there.
Hmm.
And you have all of those, amenities. Of course, they even have they even have a shuttle to the parks
Yep.
that you can take. You can take a shuttle, or like someone mentioned, you can take Uber
Yep.
as well.
Which isn't as expensive as you think, especially when it's not during surge pricing. It's not too bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, once you get to Disney Springs, you can get to pretty much anywhere. So
Yeah, my favorite used to be to go to Disney Springs, hop on a resort bus, and go over to go to the resorts, like usually the Grand Floridian or the Polynesian, and then go to the parks from there. That was one
yep.
of my favorite tricks to do if you're not in a hurry, because the buses aren't
they're
running
not
from
they're not.
Disney Springs until like 10.
You plan an hour. Plan an
Yeah,
hour.
plan at least an hour. That's like a good like off day, relaxing day. Take your time and go over there. Hey, Lasso of Truth, and I see Donnie Pearson is in the chat. I've only been to one Disney park, California Adventure, and only one Universal Studios theme park, Hollywood, anywhere on Earth. Yeah, I've
Wow.
been to both of those. I've been to both of those. California Adventure I didn't really care for. Disneyland is freaking off the chain. Love
Um,
Disneyland.
and I mean, you're talking to somebody who was a regular there, like, multiple times a year, and oh, Disneyland's hard to beat. Disneyland's hard to beat.
It really is. I didn't believe it at the time. I'm like, come on, you people are just making it up. Hey Phil. And then I went to Disneyland and I'm like, man, it was everything people told me it would be. Hey, Griffin Turbo says, hey, yo, happy people. Tina Bojan says, when it was downtown Disney, we used to play avoid hitting the Disney drunk on the road.
Let me tell
It's,
you, yeah,
mm-hmm,
because you would get to Pleasure Island, right? Back in the day, Tina knows what I'm talking about, and that was insane. It was themed that it was New Year's Eve every single night. They had the countdown, the ball dropped, and you had this amazing set of bars slash restaurants, mostly bars.
mm-hmm.
Like a dance club was called Mannequins. They had a comedy club. They
I
had the
remember
Adventurers.
mannequins.
They had the Adventurers Club. They had, it was the comedy club was what, the Fireworks Factory, I think.
I think so.
Yeah,
It was
but it was
improv, right?
yeah, it was so great, but you could spend a whole night of entertainment there every single night and do something different every night. But the
Mm-hmm,
Adventurers Club, I would usually, set up shop, hang out.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I
then of
miss
course,
that.
yeah, well, they wanted to make it more family oriented, so we ended up with Disney Springs.
I'm uh, I still miss that though. Yeah, they kind of did. They would say, it's kind of, the warning. You can get,
That's
mature.
an adult area. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you actually legit had adult areas for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Priceline, yep, absolutely. This is also true.
Priceline is another one. I just tell people with Priceline, just read the fine print. But
Yep.
Priceline, especially if you're going at the last minute, you can score some really, 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 really good good deals.
But
And
these Lake Buena Vista hotels that we're talking about right now, they're, good neighbor properties or whatever they're calling them nowadays.
mhm.
And you get that
Let's see if I
30-minute early access to the
can.
parks. You may get the shuttle
Let's
bus.
see.
If you have a car plan to pay for parking. Oh,
Mhm.
that's another nice thing about DVC. You don't, if you're a DVC guest, you don't pay a resort fee for parking.
Right.
That's another thing most people don't realize.
What I wanted to show really quick, because we're talking about this is Hotel Plaza
Mhm.
Boulevard, right,
Yep.
right here. Actually, no, Hampton Inn. Okay, starting right here. So this is Hotel Plaza Boulevard. So there's, I call it the Hilton compound, which is
Yeah.
toward the front. But there are all of these other hotels on there, and of course, this is Bonnet Creek.
Yep.
So the Waldorf Astoria is on Bonnet Creek,
Yep.
along
And
with the other Hilton, which they renamed
look.
to Signia by Hilton.
Yeah, look at the Waldorf. Just the prices, they're not as ridiculous as you would think.
No,
537 for the Waldorf.
I've paid more than that for the one time I stayed at the Waldorf Astoria in New York.
Yeah.
This is considerably cheaper, and considering all that you get, and it's actually truly a luxury resort, which is the Astoria. But then, yep, that's on Bonnet Creek. So for those of you who were like, where the heck is Bonnet Creek? Because we keep talking about it. Here's Bonnet Creek right here. Here's Epcot. Here's Hollywood Studios. Here's Animal Kingdom theme park. Like literally, you make a right turn on the Bonnet Creek Parkway, and there's particular resorts. You were literally right in the middle of Walt Disney property.
Yep, and Osceola Parkway will get you really quickly to Animal Kingdom. I mean, there's a lot of like super fast ways if you have a rental car or your own car to get to and from the Bonnet Creek resorts. It's very expedient. Plus, they also have really nice shuttle buses to and from the parks for the Waldorf. Yeah.
Hey, Larry, how you doing? Thanks for being a channel member, along with Tina Bojan. Third-party reservations are money up front, no refunds, no changes to the reservation.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's also, yeah, with DDC. Yeah, that's very true.
Mhm.
Larry, Larry. Yeah.
Yeah, and International Drive isn't that far either. Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry, Larry. Larry, you couldn't see the cursor. I'm sorry. You can see the little hand.
yeah. It's little. It's
It's
little.
very tiny. But one of the reasons that we definitely wanted to point all this out is that there are more options
Mhm.
that give you more value
Mhm.
than the Disney resorts.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people just talk about, well, Disney, of course, will play up their own resorts, and that used to be actually worth the money,
Mhm.
but it's not anymore.
No.
It's really not. So
No.
that's
And that's
why. Oh, go ahead, Coach.
no. I was going to say, and that's and the other thing is you can sometimes, after you've priced it all out, you've priced out the hotels off property, you've priced out the on property hotels. Your next stop might be a travel agent. And I talked about that before with Universal. I'm going to talk about it with Disney, because sometimes they have access to deals that you wouldn't get.
No, I had a Disney travel agent for, I want to say, probably 10 years. I'm really anal retentive and I'm a control freak. I like planning my
You,
own. Yeah, I know. Can you hard to believe, right?
an engineer,
Yeah.
retentive? No.
But this person was highly recommended to me. And I said, well, if I need a travel agent, I need someone who understands, what I'm thinking. So from the first conversation, she like wanted to know what I was interested in, how many times had I been. It was to the point where all I did was just give her the reservation money. And she'd say, okay, I got you this discount, this discount. I hear there may be another discount coming down the pike. So if it does, I will apply it to your reservation. I get an email. Oh, yeah, this code came out. So I saved you $400 on your visit.
Yep.
So you can probably use that for food. If I had a problem with my reservation, or if there was something that I needed reservations for, she could go into the system for me that other
Yep.
people couldn't see, and go and do it. But what you want to do is, if you get a Disney travel agent, well, Disney's actually squeezing their travel agents out,
They
which
are.
is, I think, why mine quit. And oh, that was upsetting. Really was upsetting that she left. You have to make sure that they actually know what they're doing.
Well, and at the same time, the other thing they can do that you can't is they get an extra hour before everybody else to book fast passes.
Yep, they do. Because when I
So
thought I was going to stay concierge level,
yeah,
I got the heads up about that.
yeah, yeah, and that's a great way to go, because then the travel agent takes care of booking your fast passes. You just kind of indicate the rides you want to go
Hmm.
on your given day. Of course, this is all changing now with the
With
the
the
the new
Genie.
Genie. Yeah, which guess what? If you have a travel agent, they have to figure that out already, and you don't. So that's also very helpful. But
Yeah.
it's another thing to consider, because sometimes they get access to a package that will include the dining plan,
Hmm.
and it's not offered to the general public.
Hmm.
And
Rope drop is kind of hard off property. It is Rogue
could
Disney,
be.
and it can be, but a lot of that depends on the personalities of who you're with. If you get people, okay, like my immediate, like my parents, okay, they couldn't be on time to a free lunch. All right. They never could be on time to anything. So I didn't even know what rope drop was until I was
Oh,
in college in Orlando and heard about what that was, and
mm,
started doing that. But it's more difficult when you're off property. You have to plan your time in advance. If rope drop is at 9 o'clock, Disney transportation runs an hour before, 8 a.m., which means your party needs to be near those turnstiles to get in to park. I'd say 7 a.m.
yeah. In fact, right now it's people are literally exploiting the system when it comes to rope dropping now from off property. They will sit like at the parking location like
Hmm.
an hour and a half ahead of time. So they'll be
Mhm.
like right there at the front to get parked as quickly as possible. And
Exactly.
if the Skyliner, this is particularly relevant for, or used to be relevant for the Studios Park. If the Skyliner wasn't running right off the bat, the people that were in the cars would sometimes beat the Skyliner folks over.
Mhm.
So
A
it,
prime example is go back and watch videos. Actually, Braden from Mickey Views,
yeah.
when Galaxy's Edge first opened,
Mm-hmm.
go back and watch his videos because he has video of like what the parking people were camped out
Yep.
in their car
Yep.
at the Disney Studios parking gate so
Mm-hmm.
they could get in.
Yep.
And they were beating Disney transportation.
Yep.
Getting in. That's an extreme example, but
Oh yeah.
still a very good one about if you want to make rope drop and you're off property, what you have to do
Yeah.
in order to make that.
Getting up early is a successful strategy for getting the most amount of attractions.
Absolutely. I'm gonna speak on that a little briefly because that's what happened. That's what happened today. I'm not a morning person, but if you want to do stuff and have less of an amount of headache at Disney, you need to go early. So I got to the parks. I want to say I got to Hollywood Studios today at like 8:45 in the morning. I got through the turnstiles. They were letting people on rides at that time. So literally, I walked onto Mickey's Runaway Railway at 8:55 a.m. 5-minute wait. I didn't even have a chance to film the queue. 5-minute wait to walk onto that. 10-minute wait to get on Rock and Roller Coaster. 15-minute wait to get on the Tower of Terror. And I think by the time I was done with that, I want to say it was maybe like 9:30, 9:45. And that's when the time started kind of ratcheting it up. Like Slinky Dog Dash was, which is still like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Couple of the other ones in Toy Story, like Toy Story Mania, I think that was at 30 minutes. But once you get past noon, forget it. You're talking 2-hour waits or 2-hour plus for everything. So getting there early and you knock out the major stuff. Smuggler's Run at Galaxy's Edge was not on my list. And Rise of the Resistance, I couldn't even get on for like 5 hours because I was in the virtual queue and I had to wait until they called me. But you can hit
forever.
I couldn't believe how long it took. And I hit that button at 7 a.m.
And if now with the new system, if it hasn't launched already, it's about to, you actually can check in your entire party beforehand, before the actual virtual queue starts.
Oh yeah, so they did it already.
Okay, all right, okay, because I knew that was it being implemented. So, but yeah, so now you can check in your party ahead of time, and then you can hit the virtual queue right at 7. Start hitting it at 6:59.
Yeah, because that's what I was doing. I kept going like this. I kept going like this. I kept going like that, and then I said, "What do you mean? It's going to be 5 hours before I get on?" But that was the deal, and I'm just glad it was up and working because it did go down for a little bit.
It does, and that's the other problem is that it very rarely goes through the entire day without breaking down 2 or 3 times. So,
it's a very, very complicated ride technologically wise.
It is because it's let's see, it's 4 different attractions.
Yes. There's there's a vertical movement. It's it's not on a track, it's trackless. On top of that, there's a dynamic simulator, part that's in it. And honestly, I think what happened, and this usually happens a lot of time, there's never enough time to give engineering to test stuff, but plenty enough time to start marketing to hit a freaking date. They wanted to hit that date. It's like, and now it frustrates me. It's not just Disney when they do that, but even more so when Disney does it because it's such a public thing.
It would have helped if they hadn't installed some of the stuff the wrong way.
Didn't they did the track upside down?
I don't even
the magnetic thing upside down.
I don't even want to start with how many screw ups there were in that. I don't know. But anyway.
I will say this: Mickey's Runaway Railway that did not go down at all. and that was a freaking fun to be
I've
on. I had a
seen
great
I've
time.
seen some fails on it because they're again and again. I mean, I'm not a big fan of screen attractions,
Me neither.
so
Me
you know
neither. Oh,
I'm
thank
tired
you,
of it.
Makini.
What's
Thank
up,
you.
Maki?
With a $10 super sticker with the Shiba Inu dog squeezing the heart. Oh, thank you so much, my dear. If you aren't subscribed to Makini's channel, you need to. You need to. He's got a great channel. Makini did the first artwork for my channel. And actually, I'm redoing my merch to get a better merch store because I kind of half-assed it because I didn't think this channel was going to go anywhere. And now it has, so I have to get my merch game up to snuff. But yeah, Makini did the first piece of artwork, so definitely got to check that out. The engineer in Lorena is throwing a tantrum. I do
Oh
that.
yeah.
I do that because I know how it is being in those meetings, and marketing's like, well, we already told them such and such a date. Engineering's like, yeah, but we told you such and such a date. And they're like, oh, well, we just have to go. I'm like, okay, then I'm going to go on record by telling you we don't have enough time. And when this breaks down, don't come crying to me. Then stuff starts breaking down. I'm like, we told you this was going to happen, right? I want you to admit that I was right, right?
Yeah.
Right. The engineers kind of just roll our eyes. But yeah, it could work perfectly if there was enough time to test all of those components together. And they didn't give them enough time and they rushed it to market. And here you go. Here you go. Hey, Crispy Critters, the latest Disney ride, one that actually worked.
Well, actually the ride that works right now is the one that takes your money, which is called the ticketing process or the pass holder process. I mean, they have no trouble finding ways to take your money. The problem is they're delivering less value. So again, it's very important to pre-plan. Use websites like Mouse Savers that Lorena
Yes. Let me
put
go
up
there.
there.
There's Mouse Savers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And look at this for everything. I'm not kidding. Not just Disney World trips. Look at Disneyland trips, cruises, all kinds of other things, including the NASA stuff. Right? Check them out for SeaWorld, for Universal, for everything, and they will help you with car rentals, car rental codes. Like if you're Alamo, Hertz, or any of those programs, sometimes they'll have coupon codes.
Hi, Snail Messiah.
That'll make it so that you save a ton of money. They also have ways for you to double points sometimes with your hotels. So it's insane. Yeah, QA is the only group that gets shorted more than
it does. And then you have to deal with the fights between QA and software.
Yeah, and that's why like for example, the test and adjust period can vary depending upon whether or not a ride system is new or not. For example, TNA for Ratatouille, which is just in preview mode right now in Epcot. That attraction's a 1-for-1 rebuild of the attraction that's in Paris. I mean, it is literally the same blueprint. They smashed it down in the back of Epcot, in the back of France, and it's a 1-for-1. The only thing that they improved on was the quality of the imaging, the screens and the projectors that are in there to run it. So, yeah. Oh yeah, RGE.
Oh yeah, I do. Because I'll tell people the worst customer, the most aggravating customer that Disney can have is someone who works in IT.
Oh yeah, they hate them
because you don't fall for that. No. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to so and so who knows what's going on, because you know what you're talking about, and it just. One day I will have to tell you about something that happened that should not have happened. I should have been able to use my magic band to pay for my lunch at Le Chefs de France the first day of my visit, and I was not able to with my dining plan because Disney IT screwed up yet again. I'll have to tell that story at another time. Allie says, Lorena, genuinely curious, what is it about Disney World theme parks that makes you want to go? I don't get it. I know for me, and Culture will give his impression too. Disney World is a place that I've gone to, I'll say the Magic Kingdom, with my family for I want to say like over 4 generations of my family have been through it. So I remember the park being, being a great place, a place with lots of memories. For me, I'd say it's the physical manifestation of pop culture, because it's like it's physical, you can touch it, you can experience it. It's like going to the Spider-Man ride at Universal. If you're a big fan of Spider-Man, the comics, you feel like you're there. So that's pretty much the experience. Don't like being around a lot of people, but that's kind of, that's kind of the kind of the trade-off. But to me, that's the appeal. I know some people who are just like, I don't do theme parks.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't do theme parks, and that's understandable. But
Eh,
for some of us, that's just a thing we like to do.
Yeah, and I have kind of the same impression that Lorena does of these worlds. I like living within the things that I saw on the screen. I thought it was always a wonderful experience, and being in an immersive world, because a theme park isn't just an amusement park. It's bringing something to you in its most complete form that can be offered to you at the time. So when you're surrounded by, let's say, a room full of stormtroopers, there's a little bit of, magic in that. If you're riding on an old fashioned steam locomotive, there's a
Hmm.
little bit of magic in that. It's not an everyday experience. It's not something, because it's physical and it's not virtual, although they're trying to make things virtual.
Hmm.
Um, it's one of those things. And Tina, I share the same 50th birthday with Disney World, except that I was born in 70, it was born in 71, but we both turned 50 within a year of each other, so it's all right. But I'm one of those people that I enjoy that, being able to walk
Hmm.
into Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which I'd seen a zillion times,
Oh yeah.
as a kid, right? And that attraction still exists at Disneyland, and being able to ride on it was super fun. And being able to, and when you go to the Halloween show, or at least when you used to, the Headless Horseman would ride down Main Street on a horse. And if you've ever seen Ichabod Crane, and the Headless Horseman, if you've ever seen that, and those cartoons were paired together with Mr. Toad, those moments were incredible. And so being able to step into that's what it is for me. So stepping into,
Hmm.
and stepping into the future at the point in time that Epcot used to, you literally would step into the future. So
Hmm.
anyway, it is what
You
it is.
would.
Oh,
You
here we
would.
go.
Another thing to add, and before I bring this up,
Yeah.
um, as much as I do not like the sequel trilogy,
Hmm.
that one part in Rise of the Resistance
Hmm.
where you're on that Imperial ship, okay?
Yeah.
You step out of the transport
Yeah.
and there's all the stormtroopers.
Hmm.
That is actually a quintessential moment. I will say that. I was freaking blown away walking into that. It was just something else.
Yeah, it is a moment in and of itself, or unto itself, because you're physically, uh, you're physically in a hangar with all of those.
Exactly. And some of them are actual cast members. You don't know who they are though.
You'll have the move. Yeah, a lot of people have emotional response in this room.
Yeah, it's
And
I just yeah, it's like I literally
yeah.
I had to stop. And usually I'm the kind of person where it's like, okay, okay, let's get on the ride. Let's get on the ride. Let's get on the ride. As soon as I stepped out into where that was, I literally had a moment. And then later on in the ride was kind of PO'd that we saw Kylo instead of Darth Vader, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that another time. But yeah, I actually I love
you
that.
yeah, most people, like I said, it's just a different thing. So it is very taxing, Ellie. That yeah.
It is. But here's the thing, and especially with a lot of theme park commandos like myself and like culture,
Yeah.
we see what's going on. So we're very honest when we tell people you want to go. This is exactly what Disney is doing.
Mhm.
So if you want to go, keep that in mind. And here are some ways of getting through that, because the market isn't going to put up with this, and it's
Well,
already started turning,
yeah,
turning against it.
yeah, Disney Twitter, Twitter has been going full blown negative, which
Hmm.
normally is full of nothing but pixie dusters, is
Yep.
what we call them. The people that are
Hmm.
always overly optimistic about everything, that they don't see reality. So,
No,
you
it's a
know, it,
Disney is great.
yeah,
They
no, no,
don't
no,
do
just
anything
give it a chance.
wrong.
Give
Just
it a
you're not
chance.
giving it a chance. You're not.
Yeah,
Why are you so negative about what's
yeah,
going on? And
yeah,
over the
yeah.
past couple of weeks,
Now,
especially with that Genie being launched and then the annual passes prices being launched, they were just like, it's like, oh God, I'm hungover now. You know, this can't
well, and
stand.
yeah, and you're saying traditional pixie dusters kind of just give everything the middle finger, and
Hmm.
that's weird. And then now you have this upcoming amazingness, that's not even a word, but whatever, that is Universal's giving you value for your money. They're presenting you with these also unique experiences, and they have what Disney is lacking at the moment, which is good show. Disney, the king of good
Yeah.
show, is dropping show in favor of some other priority that is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nuts. And speaking of quality of show, I know the last time they did a live stream from Universal, they were doing the Tales of Beetle the Bard, and it sounds kind of hokey, but when you look at the puppetry that's going on, it literally looks like they took it out of the movie and put it right there in front of you. And people were just mesmerized by the whole thing. But yeah, Universal's killing it when it comes to quality of show. If you think that's good, wait till Epic Universe opens and they drop Nintendo World in there. It's gonna be game over.
Well, and I
Absolutely.
and yeah, nuanced observers 1,000% on it, and it's the truth, because Disney's Potter Swatter was supposed to be Avatar, right? It was supposed to be Pandora, right? It
Hmm.
was supposed to be that, and it didn't rise to that. It was beautiful, it was amazing, it's a gorgeous area, right? They should have put the third attraction in that they didn't put in, but hey,
Right.
well, that's the same problem that Galaxy's Edge has, by the way. Um, but then you have that not doing what it was supposed to do. So they, in turn, they take this new property they just acquired with Star Wars, and they sink $1 billion into California and $1 billion into Florida, building this Galaxy's Edge thing that doesn't connect with anybody. Because as
No.
you were talking about it today, you were in the middle of it today, and you said this doesn't feel like you're immersed in this. This feels like you're standing around waiting for something at, anywhere. You could be anywhere. You're not necessarily here in Star Wars, right? It was
Yeah.
just it was an interesting thing. And so I mean, they had a lot of opportunities to improve that. They need to work on the kinetics. I mean, having the stormtrooper stand up at a higher elevation, that's great, but there's two of them, you know?
Hmm.
And it just, it doesn't, none of it rises to the kind of immersiveness and show that you anticipate from Disney, right? And
No, it doesn't. It feels like a strip mall with a dive bar in it. And I didn't see people look as happy or as anticipatory like they did at, like, say, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. People just don't want to leave when they go there, and people are just immersed. With Galaxy's Edge, it's just like people are just waiting, waiting around. There's like a different energy from, like, say, Star Tours, which, if you're original trilogy fans,
Mhm.
prequel trilogy fans, Star Tours is freaking awesome.
Yeah, well, and they started putting some of the sequel bologna sausage in that, and it's not great. Yeah.
I didn't see it this time. They must have knew that I was coming. They
but
must have knew that I was coming,
but
because the only thing that I saw was they had, of course, they had Darth Vader, not Kylo, because I was like, God, I can't do with that. They
yeah,
actually had that scene, and then you went to Kashyyyk later on, so they did
right.
that. So I haven't seen the sequel trilogy thing, but then again, I haven't been on that ride in 2.5 years.
Well, the nuanced observer is right, because when Epic Universe opens, Nintendo's just one part of it. That's the only thing that we're focused on, the Nintendo thing, because it's the biggest IP. But there's going to be more to it.
Hmm.
Epic Universe will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and
Fantastic Beast is going to be there.
there's going to be some amazing stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot easier to pull market share from Disney. So yeah, exactly. Black
Stop, they're
Superwoman.
already dead.
Uh,
I don't know how much, but
it wouldn't be that much. And
mm,
still there's a lot of infrastructure that's in place that could go to support uh, a complete OT refurb. I don't know why they didn't do it. That was what it was supposed to
I
be to
I
begin
don't
with.
know why they didn't do it either, because it's very jarring when you go from Star Tours and you turn out there, and the next thing you know, you're on New York Street.
Yeah.
Eh, no, that they needed, to like close that off. It drops you out of the immersion. Hey, Donnie Pearson,
Good seeing you,
so
Don.
glad you could join us. And yes, Larry, it was supposed to be original trilogy, and KK put the brakes on it. I forget who did
Well,
the interview. I think it was
one
somebody
of
did an
one
interview where that
one
came
of
out.
one of the chief Imagineers. Yeah, I'll locate that for you so that you have it at some point in the future here. But yeah, his dad was an Imagineer, and there's a lot that went into that. But yeah, there is going to be a monster section
There
supposedly
is
in Epic Universe. So, but I know that
rumored.
anyway. This was fun. We still didn't get to everything we could have
No,
talked.
we didn't. I heard that was a rumor, but who knows right now at this point. But again, another good site to check out for just unobjective Disney news, and also to help you with planning too, is Pirates and Princesses. That's another site that's run by Clownfish TV. So they usually have great information. I can't wait to go to this dark arts at Hogwarts Castle. I can't freaking wait to do it. I'm so excited. I heard Dementors are going to be walking around. They're not supposed to be, but they're going to be ignoring wizarding laws. So they're going to be
Ooh.
out there. I can't wait. I can't freaking wait to check that out.
They're just they're doing a good job. Disney's not. They're doing a good job.
They're
Disney's
doing
not.
an awesome job. So, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us as usual. We didn't nearly get to everything we wanted to,
Not
but
even close.
not
We
even
will
close, but we'll eventually get there. We're
do it
doing
again.
these about twice a month to give you guys a whole bunch of information that you use, and that they can say a lot. Oh, okay, cool, Rogue Disney. If I see you tomorrow, I sure as heck will. I need Salacious Crumb in my life. I'm gonna get one to put on my shoulder, creep around with. Well,
And
thank you, Trinoculus Pig.
and I can't, and I will definitely be able to hang out with everybody in October. That's the plan. So I will see
Yes,
everybody if that wants to see me. If you're going to be in
absolutely.
Florida, despite the fact
Mhm.
that we've got other stuff we got to do, but we will be
Exactly.
meeting up with
We
everybody.
will. We
So
will. Nuanced Observer, do not apologize for that. Information that you guys have can filter down to folks in the chat, and sometimes, a lot of times, you guys find information that we didn't even know. So that's awesome. Okay, guys, we're going to roll. Thanks so much. Please do hit the like button. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching so much. Take care, guys. Bye.